I'm Jo Donaldson and I work in the Solution Centre in Glasgow.
What are you doing here at Civil Service Live?
Well, I think the main word for me is connecting. It's connecting with people and it's seeing what other people are doing in terms of innovation across the civil service. Fantastic, fantastic opportunity. In fact, when we came, we just didn't realise how rich it would be. I know we've already learned lessons after the first day of things we would do differently for next time. One thing that's been particularly stimulating is hearing some of the people who've worked in the Lion's Den and listening to Gus O'Donnell and Peter Jones yesterday. And that was fantastic. And we've actually linked up with a couple of people who were in that Lion's Den to see what we can do to help them accelerate their breakthrough to make the solution possible using the Solution Centre. Because one of the things that Gus talked about yesterday was pace. I mean, we've got fantastic ideas from our people, but we just don't get the traction behind it. We just don't make it happen quickly. And I've been hearing from people at the conference this week of how it can take, a minimum of 6 months to make something happen. Well, we like to make things happen and be implemented and be deployed within 6 months. And even then, that could be too long at times. So pace was really important. And Gus says he's going to come up to the Solution Centre in Glasgow to see what we can do and how we can help him to deliver on his commitments.
I was very pleased that he actually attended in the first place. We didn't know that he was coming, so that was very pleasing. I think his opening statement was the thing that really hit home. I think he said from Churchill that the danger is that we try to build a future on images of the past. He then compared what he saw happening in China and India, where I think he referred to 5 million graduates coming through, where there are only 400,000 in Britain. And I think he really set the scene for what we've got to deal with.
I was really impressed with it. I've obviously never actually seen a Prime Minister in person before, and obviously I see him on television and you always imagine that's a lot more sort of scripted and well controlled. I was really impressed with how well he could speak and put his point across. He seemed to be extremely well prepared, and what he said was very relevant and to the point, and I had the impression it was very honest.
I thought it was very interesting to know where we're going in the future, and it was a good introduction to the service, which is why I came here today, just to see where everything's heading, how departments link up and that kind of thing.
I just thought he put across generally, what the government was doing was very good, but also with the what he thought of the civil service and how he appreciated what the civil servants were doing, and also there were general points that he recognised in housing and that sort of thing. I thought was very good. It's very encouraging to see that, if you like, the enthusiasm for the department. I think that can go a long way for team working. If I can feed that enthusiasm to my teams, I think that'd be exceptionally good.
Was there anything else in particular that you connected with that you spoke about?
His passion, I think, his passion on everything. I think he dealt well with every question that was posed. He'd obviously thought greatly about issues that affect everybody in the country, really, including members of this audience.
And it's your skills and your dedication and your expertise and your professionalism that we rely on.
My name is Marilyn East. I'm from the Department for Innovation, Universities and Skills. I think it's quite interesting, and it's quite interesting because I'm working in a department that's fairly new and we're setting up sort of communication systems, and it'd be useful to see whether we could employ some of these things in terms of developing a department that's supposed to have innovation in its title, really. So we're supposed to be setting the agenda across Whitehall. I think it's just the various ways in which you can communicate. I think the challenging thing is actually taking the risk, really, because there are quite a lot of risks involved. But I think if you get that sort of commitment from the top, I think it would make it easier to do. And I think our department if we're serious about leading in terms of innovation across Whitehall, we should be thinking about how we might use these more effectively in terms of how we operate as a department. I like the PB Wiki, but I'm not a real sort of technical person, so I'd like to go back and sort of do a bit of experimenting before taking anything further.
And are you going to do that? Are you going to go?
Fingers crossed, yes. I've volunteered for sort of a change group in my department, so hopefully I'll be able to sort of explore some of that stuff with that change group if that works out.
Yeah, hi, I'm Andy Wilkes. I'm the head of public sector training for BPP Professional Education. It's been fantastic, really, having a lot of civil servants in the same place, being able to understand exactly what their training needs are from our point of view as a training provider. It's been a great conference, and we've been able to spend a lot of time with people just understanding where they're coming from and indeed why they're coming to the conference in the first place. I was lucky enough yesterday to catch the Prime Minister, who turned up and I thought did an excellent job at explaining to the civil servants just how important they are to the country, what their role is, what he saw their future role as, very much, and indeed his message was giving civil servants the skills they need to carry out their job, deliver better value for money. The way that he expressed it, I mean, I don't know to what extent he was expected, but it was a great uplift, I think, for everybody in the room. I thought it was a good motivational speech that he delivered. Certainly didn't refer to any notes, and he just encouraged everybody in the room, the civil servants, to do their best for the country and help deliver exactly the sort of public sector service. Told them just how valued they were and how respected they were across the whole world. So I think it was motivational as much as anything else.
My name is Kim Baxter. I'm from the Department of Work and Pensions. Yeah, the session I was just attended was about climate change and adaptation.
Okay, what did you get out of that? What was the most stimulating thing?
Yeah, well actually, when it first started off, I wasn't really sure what I was going to get out of it, because it's about climate change and that, but it's actually really interesting to think about not just about mitigation, but about adaptation, because most of the arguments in the press is really around mitigation issues and CO2 emissions and things like that, but the whole idea of how we actually adapt our lifestyle is a real eye-opener, really, and the implications for what our life will be like in the not too distant future. So really interesting in terms of not just work, but in terms of my own personal lifestyle, really. What we're primarily involved in is looking at the capability and the skills within the Department of Work and Pensions, but when you sort of start talking about things about emergency benefit payments and things like that, that's a huge consideration, and you sort of start thinking about what sort of skills have we got to deal with that sort of thing, and how well geared up are we. And I think probably what I'll take back is, are we even thinking about it? Because I've not really heard any discussion about it in my own particular work area. Yeah, I'm gonna raise it, and just to see what's happening, I think, is the first thing I'd probably do. Yeah, I think that's probably it, really. It's just actually about getting that discussion on the table. I think would be the main thing.
Yep, I'm Rob Trent from Ordnance Survey in Southampton. I'm really enjoying it. I'm finding the seminars are very useful. I'm finding that the exhibitions, I'm learning a lot about what goes on in government. So for me, the day so far has been one of real interest and real learning. So far, I think the innovation is around the technology and the use of technology, and taking that back, and what I've learned from things like Vodafone, and hopefully what I'll pick up from BT this afternoon. How we can harness innovation within an organisation, not just from technology, but also from the people as well.